Look at this creator. You saw that correctly. She made over $20,000 from 2 weeks of posting on X, which is absolutely insane. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out. So today, I'm going to show you what happens when you post on X every single day for 30 days. I'm going to be starting out with a completely dead account, utilizing no shoutouts, no leverage from my other social medias, just pure organic traffic, baby. You're going to see everything, my wins, my losses, but most importantly, my final results. That way, you can decide if X is worth your time in 2025. If you weren't already aware, X rolled out some pretty major changes back in November of 2024, but it also came with a lot of controversy. I mean, see for yourself.
X is now paying people to tweet.
I just got a pop-up when I opened Twitter one day. It says, congrats, as your share of ads revenue and replies, you're receiving $6,698.
Some people are getting paid a lot of money.
I saw some crazy numbers.
I saw multiples over $10,000.
Is this a legitimate payment that somebody can expect to earn off of X, or is there more going on?
I get pretty good impressions in the hundreds of millions. Yeah. Monetization, the whole of August, $1,590.
Look, I see monetization on X the same way I see monetization through AdSense. It's really not worth your time, but if you really are interested in making money just through impressions, you are going to need 500 verified followers and 5 million impressions within the last 90 days, or roughly 55,000 impressions every single day. But what I consider a win is just getting traffic to my products or services. And in this case, I'm just using my private community. But rather than tell you, let me just show you. Every X guru is going to tell you the same thing. There's 4 main focus points you should be looking at when it comes to optimizing your profile on X. Number 1 is your profile picture. Most people have a clear picture of their face, and that's what everybody's going to tell you to do. I decided not to show a clear picture of my face just because I wanted to stand out a little bit. The banner should be the benefit. What is your profile about? What are you actually going to do for me? And in my case, I didn't really tell people what I'm going to do for you. I just said, did the algorithm kill your content? Because anybody who makes content already knows what that implies. The third thing is your actual bio. So I rewrote this several times. You can write yours up to make you look as good as possible, but make sure it's still truthful. And what I ended up coming up with is, I help small YouTubers monetize in 30 days. I'm the founder of Modern Monetization. That is my private community, and 27,000 people like this, which is the link directly to my YouTube channel, and the other link goes directly to my Skool. A lot of people make the mistake of putting a link tree or a beacon and have 100 links inside this right here. Don't do that. Give them one option and one option only. This is your product, your service, or a lead magnet. Nothing else. Now, in order for this to work, we are going to pick up X Premium. Without Premium, we're not going to get the reach or the impressions that we need or deserve in order for this challenge to be really worthwhile. So you will need X Premium if you want to grow on X. Okay, so today is day 1, and I just want to get a couple things clear. Number 1, I am not a Twitter expert. I know nothing about this platform at all. Second, the account that I'm going to be using is not a new account. It is one of my older accounts. I started it back in 2012, and I have about 30 followers, and I follow about 30 people. It is a dead account and has been dead for a very long time. So no, technically I'm not starting from complete zero, but I am starting from a completely dead account. Before we begin, we do need to have some sort of game plan. We can't just go in guns a-blazing. What we need is an influencer list, an authority list. I need a list of 100 influencers in my niche, or people that I find interesting in their niche that's related to mine. The reason is I want to make sure I'm growing a list of people, engaged people that have an audience that I can steal from. I want to take from their audience and make it my audience. That's the whole point here, and the only way to do that is by engaging with other people. To help speed up the process, I am going to use AI to help generate a couple different lists of different influencers. That way I can have some sort of list or some starting place. To keep my list specific, I made sure to only target people that had between 10,000 and 100,000 followers. I want to make sure that they're very engaged with their audience. I use DeepSeek, ChatGPT, and Grok AI to come up with my list of 100 influencers. But I don't quite trust AI, so I'm going to actually go through and filter every single influencer to see what their following account is, what their niche is, and if they're actually engaged. Guys, I will say that using AI to come up with a list for you is not the best idea. 50% or more of that list was completely useless. Either the account didn't exist at all, or the account was very small, like just a few followers, or they were a massive influencer with well over 100,000 followers, and their engagement, I mean, it's a little bit out of my target range. Now, obviously, you do want to target some accounts that have large followings like that, but don't make that your main focus. Again, we want to stay micro for now, 10,000 to 100,000. So really, I'm only ending up with a list of about 50. What I'm going to do before I call it a night is I'm going to make sure to follow every single one of them. I'm going to like at least one of their posts, and I'm going to comment on one of their posts, something that's relevant, whatever the most up-to-date or latest post, preferably, but if that's not relevant, I'm going to go with whatever the most relevant post is next.
20 minutes later.
I think that's going to wrap up day one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And with that, the next couple days were going great. My impressions were growing every single day, but I realized that I had to double the amount of comments and replies from 50 to 100. So I made that my new daily minimum. And then I hit my first hiccup. Today is day 5, and I've been making a massive mistake since the beginning. It turns out, since day 1, my DMs have been off. So, DMs are very important if you're trying to grow on X. You need to engage with other people, not just in the comment section, but in their DMs as well. So, make sure that you are not skipping out on your settings. Go through and make sure that you have everything in your account set up properly before diving in too deep. But once I got the DMs back up and working, everything was smooth and dandy. I was posting at least 4 times a day. Usually it was about 6 to 8 times a day. I would spread them out throughout the day. I would comment and engage with other people on their profiles and other big profiles at least 100 times a day. And then I would DM people and engage with them in the DMs at the very end of the day, and then start over again the next day. And this went on for several days until I hit a massive plateau on day 9. My impressions just tanked. And I don't know why. I didn't make any changes. I didn't do anything differently. They just stopped getting pushed out. So I did what any sane person would do. I panicked. I'm kidding. I did cheat a little bit. I decided to phone a friend.
Hey Cody, how you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Eddie? Just a quick question for you. I'm working on a project, and I want you to pretend like I'm brand new. Brand new on Twitter, no audience, no following. What are 3 things that I should do right now to make an impact on Twitter?
Yeah, so I'd say there's 3 things. The first one is that it needs to be a little bit more current or trending, or something that is inside your audience's mind happening right now. The second tip is that step by step is king. This structure helps bring clarity, and that's obviously going to get more views. The third tip is to use authority hacking. So you can use other people's names in your niche. A lot more people know about them and probably are more interested in them than in you. And therefore, you can get a lot more views very, very quickly. It's way easier to do that than to build something amazing.
Solid, bro. I'm going to test that out, and I'll let you know what happens.
Good luck, brother.
And the very next day, my impressions blew up. But just for that day. If you look at this graph, you can see it completely tanked back to where it was, and it stayed flatline the entirety of week 3. And to rub salt on the wound, I got an email from Coinbase that somebody had withdrawn the $1 that I put in my account. So naturally, I went to my email, pulled up my Coinbase account, and you're not going to believe this. $500 that was just transaction. Look at this right here. 500, February 26th. That's today. Refresh. Yeah. I've only been on Twitter for 3 weeks, and I've already made over $500 in Bitcoin. Pretty sweet. As it turns out, the week before, that massive spike of engagement that you see on this chart right here, that was because I commented and won a trivia question on Tai Lopez's account. Now, normally when you see these type of posts, you assume it's just a scam. But in this case, it turns out I got lucky. And the only reason I got lucky is because I put myself in the position to get lucky. I was not trying to win money. I was not trying to win his trivia. I was just trying to engage as fast as possible on as many accounts as I could in the short amount of time that I had. Now, that's not even the craziest part. It gets even crazier. At this point, I'm thinking, I'm getting scammed, right? There's There's no way somebody accidentally blessed me with $3,700. And I'm thinking they're going to get me. Not long after, I get a message in the DMs. It says, "Hi Cody, this is Itzel from Ty's team. There was a huge bug with Coinbase when we are sending out giveaways, and we sent you your prize, which we're very happy that you received. But Coinbase sent you a different amount as well. Could you please return the second transaction?" Now, mind you, I'm thinking I got somebody in the DMs messaging me that has like 30 followers, no engagement on their account, not even verified, saying that they work for Ty Lopez and that they accidentally sent me too much money. Now the scam's starting to click. And I look everywhere on Reddit, online. What is the new Coinbase or Bitcoin scam that people are using? And I found nothing. And then she sent me a video.
Hi, Cody. I hope you got my message. I'm so sorry. We were doing some of the giveaways and I don't know how that happened, but I'm at Ty's house. I just wanted to send as much info as I could because I know you might get some random people messaging you, but I'm at Ty's house. I work with Ty. I'm happy to provide anything else you need. But yeah, hopefully you can help me out with that.
Damn, she's good. That looks exactly like Ty's house. In fact, if you pull up any of his YouTube videos, yeah, he shot a lot of content in that house. So I'm thinking, okay, you're good. But if you really work for Ty Lopez, why don't you shoot me a message on Ty's account? So, like the decent human being I'm trying to be, I sent back that $3,700 in Bitcoin. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Ty Lopez is not hurting for money. In fact, that probably means absolutely nothing to him. However, if she did accidentally send that money, that could be her job on the line. And I would not feel comfortable taking money just so somebody else is going to lose their job. That, to me, doesn't feel right. Plus, I'm not a thief. So, I sent the money back. But what happened next, I didn't expect at all. She shoots me a message and says, "Thank you. Like, I was not expecting anybody to return this at all. Like, this means a lot. I want to give you something just for basically returning this cash. I want to give you something in order for helping me out." But she says, "I don't know quite what to give you. So how about I give you a call later this evening when I have some free time?" And I'm like, "Sure. Shoot me a call. We'll see what you got," right? Well, it turns out what she had in mind was to invite me to Ty Lopez's Mastermind, which generally costs $25,000 to get into. And afterwards, they have a massive party. Both sound awesome to me. I know it's probably just going to be a giant sales pitch, but hanging out with a bunch of high-level performers and then partying in Beverly Hills after, that sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. She invited me to Ty's house. But unfortunately, I could not make the time that she mentioned. It was supposed to be at the end of March, and unfortunately, I just was not able to make that. So I said, "Is there any way that we could make something else happen?" And she says he has masterminds at least once a quarter or every now and then. I'm not sure how often, but she says he has them all the time. So I'll tell you what, why don't you come down to the next one, and I got a spot saved for you. Pretty exciting. All because of a tweet. While that was a great distraction, I still had 1 week left of the challenge, and it was brutal. I'll be honest with you, my mental health was at an all-time low after posting every single day, no breaks for 30 days. It really does start to get to you, and you really should take some breaks in between, but I was on a mission. Here are my final results after 30 days. I ended up getting 303 followers. I had 126,000 impressions. My engagement rate overall was at a 4.3%, which isn't terrible. I had 5.4 thousand engagements, over 1,000 profile visits, over 1,000 replies, and 24 reposts. Now, the real metric I really care about is profile visits, because impressions mean nothing if people aren't actually going to your profile where they will click on my links to see what I have to offer. I don't care about impressions. I really only care about profile visits, because that's where we're going to make most of our money. But the real question still remains, is X worth it? And honestly, it depends on who you are. For me, I already have a social media following on YouTube and other accounts on other platforms. If you are starting from zero, I 100% recommend you start with X because it is a direct contact, it is direct engagement with other people. However, if you already have an established audience, it's really not worth your time. It'd be better off either outsourcing it or setting up some sort of AI post so that way you don't have to work so hard to get the minimal engagement that you will get on X. The problem that I see with X right now, there's so many AI automations that you can add to your X account. You can integrate it inside. That way, when you're scrolling through like different posts on the feed, you can auto reply 3 or 4 different choices that are smart choices. So you don't even have to think about a real reply. Everybody's just copy and pasting the same replies and different responses through that AI bot, just to boost impressions and engagement, which honestly waters down the content and is becoming a huge problem in my opinion. So if you're trying to make money through impressions, you're going to want to go the AI route. And I'll be honest with you, you're only going to make about $1,000 to $2,000 per month by spam clicking basically 8 to 9 hours every single day. For me, I'm probably not going to continue to use X seriously, at least not for a while. It is a great place to test out ideas for your main platforms, but I wouldn't focus solely on growing X because there is no longevity on X. It's all short-term gains versus YouTube, my preferred platform, which you can post right now and you might not get a lot of engagement to start, but it grows over time. And that is the type of return I'm looking for. So that's why I probably won't be continuing on X and I'm going to focus all my efforts on YouTube. Unfortunately, there was a lot of hurdles that came with making this video. I did not get to put in nearly as much stuff as I wanted to, but for those of you wondering, since it's been over a month since that invite, I have not heard anything. That mastermind very likely is not going to happen. So at the end of the day, I'm $500 in Bitcoin richer. I learned a lot from X and the experiences on both that platform and creating content for that platform. So yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on that. And if you guys are still here, I really do appreciate for being here. I know I've not been posting consistently and that's going to change because the last challenge was on X. The next one is right here on YouTube. And I will be posting a lot more. So if you're here, I'll see you in the next one.